Hey, what's up everybody? This is the new second generation Yoga 6 13-inch laptop. It is more of a consumer or budget-oriented laptop, although pricing hasn't been made available yet. Now, you'll see on my channel videos about the Yoga 9i for 2022. I'm still working on the final review, but that laptop is more premium. I do have it with me. It's right here because they're kind of like brother and sister, these two, or big brother, little brother, I don't know. But anyhow, totally different machines. The Yoga 9i is a more premium machine in terms of features. For example, it has a 90 hertz OLED display and a rotating speaker around the hinge. So you're gonna get more immersive and quality sound no matter what position the laptop is in. Whereas this one is just more budget friendly. But there are some things about this laptop that you may prefer. And one of those things is that it runs AMD. The Yoga 9i runs Intel, and as far as I'm aware, there are no plans for an AMD version of the Yoga 9. Now, also, this does have a full-size HDMI out, whereas the Yoga 9 series does not. Of course, there are also two USB-C ports and a headphone jack, but no Thunderbolt since this runs on AMD. There are two USB-A ports, a micro SD card slot, which is solid, and you have a power button with an LED status indicator. This fabric I haven't talked about yet. I just realized this is like my fifth take, and all my other takes I start with the fabric. I like the fabric on the top. Let me just make that very clear. I think this could be considered an upgrade over the aluminum top of the Yoga 9 and pretty much every other laptop out in existence right now. It's not common to have these fabric covers on the top. Some laptops have done leather. I don't like the leather. I think this is more grippy, and it looks pretty cool. It looks like a notebook or something. Even, I guess I've never seen a notebook with this kind of material. But anyway, it looks freaking great, and just deal with it. So let's talk about the keyboard before we go to the meat and potatoes. Now, the keyboard on this is great. It's very comfortable to type on. Just like I said when I did my first impressions of the Yoga 9i, the Yoga 6 has an excellent keyboard and a good trackpad. Every single consumer-based Lenovo laptop, from the detachables all the way up to their flagship Legion gaming laptops, they all have excellent keyboards, and they're different from the ThinkPads. But regardless of that, they're still very good. So I think Lenovo may have the crown for most comfortable keyboards. Yeah, the crown and second place. The gold and the silver, that makes more sense. Okay, so you also, in addition to this fingerprint scanner, there is Windows Hello facial recognition. This keyboard is backlit. It is 3 stages: off, on, and super on or something. More on, more bright. So great keyboard, excellent multimedia features along the function key row. Function and escape will lock the function keys if that's your preference, but this is by and far one of the best decks you're going to find in a consumer 13-inch laptop. And the thing about trying to select a laptop is you can look at specs, and specs are super important, and we'll definitely talk about specs in a minute because there's a concern here. But to me, more importantly, is it comfortable to use? And the keyboard is a major part of that question. Okay, one of the nice features about the Yoga 9 series is that you get an OLED 90 hertz display. Here you get a 60 hertz display, doesn't get very bright, and that is a challenge because this is a very glossy display, as you can see. So Jet, I think you're out there, and if you're out there, man, you are gonna hate this laptop. So yeah, note to Jet, do not buy the Yoga 6 because it's super glossy, and if you guys ever read the comments in the Lenovo reviews, Jet does not like the glossy displays. Okay, you're my man, it's all good. So, I mean, I'm even having a hard time getting the camera to focus on this because it is so glossy. Oh my gosh. Come on, camera. Work with me here. We're gonna go manual. Like Luke, trying to get to Dagobah. All right. So, battery life, ignore this for right now. It's saying 55% and 7.5 hours remaining. I have not done a battery test on this. When I battery tested the Yoga 9i, which runs at a much higher wattage than this AMD processor, I got 7 hours and 6 minutes on my video streaming test. It's a common test that I run on laptops. I put the volume and the brightness to 50%, and then I run 1080p video on a loop from 100% down to 0. I haven't done that with this laptop yet. I think it's going to get much better battery life than the Yoga 9. I think it's going to even outperform the 1260p CPUs from Intel, just because AMD processors run more efficiently, especially in those types of low demand tasks. So remains to be seen. Wait for the full review on that one. But the reason I have this open is that I wanted to show you what you get in terms of specifications. And I seem to have lost the window. Let me go back to the dashboard here. Okay, so this thing ships with 8 gigabytes of RAM. But as you can see, kind of, come on, focus, here on the right hand side, only 5.8 gigabytes of RAM are available. I have really nothing open but Vantage and then several dozen Windows processes, and I only have 3.3 gigabytes available of the 5.8. So you might be wondering what happened to the other 2.2 gigabytes, from 8 down to 5.8. My guess is 2 gigabytes are allocated towards the GPU. I have to look into that. I don't know yet. I just got this in and unboxed it. So let me look into that. But if that's the case, it's not even that you just have 8 gigs of RAM for Windows. You have even less than that, potentially. That's a problem. I don't think you're going to get good resale value out of this. I don't think you're going to have good long-term performance. Once Windows 11 becomes Windows 12 or whatever they want to call it, Windows 11S or something, I think that before you know it, you're going to need 16 gigs to properly run Windows, even if you're just using it for light tasks, which is what this laptop is for. It's for light tasks like Microsoft Word and a browser. I mean, really, that's it. Some light Excel, right? Okay, this comes with just a 256 gig SSD, so we don't have pricing yet. My guess is it's going to be around $1,000 MSRP. Lenovo runs amazing sales all the time, so maybe this ends up being a kind of a regularly priced $800 type laptop. $800, maybe it has good battery life, but it's not going to have phenomenal battery life, and you have low specs. It's going to be a hard one to recommend no matter how cool it looks and how nice it is to use. So we've got some potential flags there that I just wanted to call out, but I can't get to it until I spent more time with it, because for all I know, this thing could really blow me away. I haven't reviewed a laptop yet with the 5500U CPU from AMD. Okay, so AMD on the inside. It's AMD CPU, AMD GPU, with Radeon graphics. I don't normally do gaming tests on consumer budget laptops, but if you really want me to, just ask, put it in the comments. And okay, it is a 2-in-1, so that means you can run it in a regular laptop mode, you can run it in a tent mode, or you can run it in tablet mode. Now, the new design language from Lenovo, it puts some, I don't know how to explain this, other than like really making sure you guys can see it. There is a distance here. There's the bottom deck is wider than the display deck. Okay, so when you hold these laptops, it's more prevalent in the 14-inch just because it's bigger, right? So when you hold these laptops up, you're not dealing with the top and the bottom being the same, right? So it's not like a flat edge. It's more of a tapered edge, right? So just keep that in mind. It's not as pronounced on the 13-inch. I found it annoying on the 14-inch, but I haven't had the 13-inch long enough to be annoyed. So we have a few things to follow up on, folks. Let me know what you want reviewed, but my plan as of right now is to do a review on the battery life, the general performance for light tasks like word processing, a little bit of PowerPoint, Excel, and then of course browsing the web. I'll do my YouTube video, test that whole thing. But if there's anything else you want tested, do let me know. Hopefully by the time the final review is out, I will have had actual street price on these things, and then we can really talk about value and we can make some educated guesses on long-term value. But for now, this is the Yoga 6. I like the color, I like the design, I love the I/O. Jury is out on performance, and I'm definitely concerned about the glossy display. If this thing were 1,000 nits, it'd be fine, right? But then it wouldn't be a low-priced consumer laptop. So love the design language. Let's see what happens on the final review. Leave me your comments, please, and I'll get to them. All right, cheers.